Clear the decks.
Yeah,
And
We're live.
we're live.
Now, oh, yes, we have go live. It just popped up on my screen. Ladies and gentlemen of the Irish Rugby Banter Group, a very good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to you all, and welcome to this week's edition of Mauls Balls and All, where we shoot the breeze and we talk about all things rugby, rugby news, games that happened, games that are going to happen, and by all means, type of comment, show us your throw in an opinion, tell us how you feel about something. You know, just give us your thoughts because it's you as well. You know, it's your show as well. Okay. Joining me this evening is Peter Martin. We have Mike Reedy and a very welcome back to our very own Claire Devaney. Ladies and gentlemen, how the hell are we all? Are we all well?
All great.
All good.
Thank you.
Bad at all.
Pure solid finest.
Well, that's fucking fantastic. Well done. Okay, folks. As always, we have a chat about the events, the news stories, items or whatever topics that were causing some. Hold on, I see Gregor Galway as always straight in there. Gregor with an evening all. How are you, Gregor? How are you? Glad you joined us. Now, I would say Megan Augusta will not be too far behind. Now, Claire, let's come to you first, Claire. But seeing as you're coming back after a slight break, a deserved break, I might say.
Thank you.
Richie Murphy signed a 2-year deal, deservedly. He's the man for the job, but
Yes.
the timing isn't great. 9 players leaving. Ian
I've seen that,
Henderson out. Yeah, Ian Henderson is out. He's out for the South African tour. He got an operation on his toe. And he had a veiled dig, I think, in an interview. I think it was probably aimed at Leinster, but inadvertently. He basically said, look, he was asked a question about the job, and he said, look, we're not Man City. We can't go out and buy all these marquee. We can't go out and buy all these marquee players. But the whole thing, Claire, what do you reckon? Like 9 players leaving, Henderson out. He gets the 2-year deal. Brilliant. But he's not going to have the resources to do what he wants to do at the moment. Anyway, it would appear, Claire.
At the moment, no, but build it from the ground up. Build it from the ground up. You can't just keep throwing money at things. You have to build it from the ground up. Money's not going to work.
Yeah. Okay.
Right,
Mike Reedy,
build it from the ground up. Start.
I know, but okay, but how strong is their academy, Claire? I don't know how strong their academy is.
I actually don't know how strong their academy is. I actually don't. Maybe I will text someone and ask that question because I do have a friend up the north who would probably know the answers to that question.
Sure, Gregor Galway might be able to help us.
Go on.
Man.
Yeah, Gregor, how strong is their academy?
Gregor Galway. Gregor, how strong is the Ulster Academy?
Or Rosa, if you're watching it.
Jeez,
pretty good, to be honest.
Yeah, that's great, Gregor. Can you give us some names and positions and backups because you're pretty fucking loose in the 1 to 5 anyway. Mike Reedy, what do you think about this? Richie Murphy, yeah, deserved. He got the 2-year deal. Brilliant. Well done, Richie. The man for the job.
Absolute brainer.
He's losing 9, and Mike, hold on. He's losing 9. Henderson out, so 10 are gone. Right, he doesn't have. Although the season is nearly over. The race to 8 is coming up now with the penultimate round next weekend of the URC. How do you think he's like? Ulster, go on, Mike.
Being honest with you, I've had a look at the list of the players that he's losing, and most of them are probably deadwood anyway. You know that their contribution hasn't been what you'd like it to be. Dave Ewers is probably the only one I would have thought maybe you'd want to keep. And why is he? I don't know why he's leaving or where he's going or anything. But they have. He
hasn't been great, though.
No, but he still give you something. Like most of them. I mean, Edison, to be fair, has turned the season around under Richie Murphy. So, like prior to that, he was absolutely dreadful, and which all the team were. And what he has done, what he's achieved in the short length of time he's been there is remarkable for me anyway. And I think he'll bring in young lads. He'll get them from elsewhere. Budget, they'll be within the budget that Ulster have at their disposal, which is a lot better. It's a better fit for Richie Murphy because that's what he's used to dealing with. I don't know. I'm not sure how he would cope with so-called superstars, or high-profile players. That's yet to be seen. But how he'll get the very best of every one of those young lads, and they had 3 or 4 guys in this year's under-20s team, and they had some last year's as well. So they'll be fine. Ulster will be okay. By the way, they can only go in one direction now, and they're heading. They look to be heading that way. So I'm pleased for them. Good luck. Yeah. Best of luck to Richie Murphy.
Okay, and there's a postscript to all this as well, which I'll come to after I ask for Peter Martin your opinion on all this. The Ulster players leaving.
Yeah, I think this is. I think Richie Murphy being appointed as the light at the end of the tunnel for Ulster. To be honest, I think he'll work out to be a perfect fit. The 9 players who are being let go, I actually thought there would have been more. Gone. Those rumours for the likes of Eric O'Sullivan and Marty Moore apparently were on the way out, but obviously that has stopped. Eric O'Sullivan, I think he's actually a very good player. I think he was anyway. He was capped there a number of years ago by Farrell, but doesn't seem to have managed to hit the heights since. Look, as what Mike said, just going to echo what Mike said. He's gonna work with a lot of young players. Ulster do have a reasonable academy. I would probably say the second best in the country after Leinster's. And as what Mike said, it'll be a case that he'll pick, one of his sons is going up to him as a 10. So Flannery's out injured at the moment, a little bit light in those positions. So I think it could be exciting times for Ulster. He's doing a couple of interesting things, particularly with some of the talent that's there. He's making Izzy into a 6, which looks very interesting given we have Baird for Leinster, you have Thomas Ahern for Munster, and now if Izzy Cormac Izachukwu manages to come anyway remotely near it, we've got a very, very interesting scenario in Irish rugby, where we've got 4 particular players, all of the same ilk, but obviously with various degrees of experience, playing in a new hybrid role in the team, new positional hybrid position. So that's going to be an interesting one to watch going forward. But I think it's going to work out very well for Ulster and Richie. And on top of that, it's another thing to note that it's another Indigenous home coach. So I hope it goes well for him.
100%. Everybody knows my feelings on that.
And you mentioned yes, we do, Mr. Farage. You covered my postscript there, Pete, with Eric O'Sullivan and Marty Moore. I was going to mention those two, but you've covered that pretty well. Oh God, here we go, folks. I heard a pop in the headphones. That can only mean one thing. The Healy Rays are in town.
Yes, we are.
Boston, how the hell are you, Bean?
Yes.
Not bad, that's not bad. I see you all getting it. All right, so where are we?
Good, yeah. How are you? We're right here on your screen, Daddy. Can you not see us?
We're right here, on screen.
All good.
Oh, I missed this.
Johnny.
Okay, now he's stripping.
I'd say the heifers are cross-eyed and to see Brosnan coming.
No.
Perfect. They just turn. They just turn and face away, Peter.
Yeah, or else Brosnan looked like his hair's been licked by a heifer.
A cow's licked.
The dog.
Come here, anyway. Come here, Danny. The question the topic we were talking about was Richie Murphy's 2-year deal, 9 players leaving, Henderson out. what's your any thoughts on the whole Ulster thing? Their academy bringing players through. Now, albeit of those 9 players, 2 of them were retirees, so to speak.
Yeah.
What are your just general thoughts on Ulster setup?
Well, I think Richie Murphy is probably the right lad for the job at the moment, because we know if Ulster are in somewhat financial trouble. I think there's a bit of a rebuild needed as well with them, and concerning his connection with a lot of the younger lads, across the provinces, I'd say he might be the best lad for a job to get the good foundations going for the next couple of years. So, to be honest with you, I think they also did the best decision and hired him. So just hopefully he'll just get a season or two to properly settle in, and we'll start seeing some results then from him.
They would be lost.
Mm-hmm.
Danny, come back.
Yeah,
No, who we lost?
Perfect season.
Is that all you're saying, Danny?
Yeah,
Danny,
that's all I gotta say.
Okay.
Sure, said my piece, Peter.
Right, over to you, Mr. Burke.
Oh, sorry, no, I froze, or you froze, or someone froze. I don't know who froze.
I think Danny froze.
Excuse me. Peter Martin, I could do
Oh
this.
yeah, blame my second wife, huh?
Oh, did Danny froze? Oh. Go on, the Heady Rays. Get those hamsters running around that fucking wheel, Danny, will you? Or put 50p in the.
There's an election on soon. They'll be out in force.
I was listening to. Well, there you go, Peter Martin. I was listening to Stuart Barnes on a clip. It was put up on Twitter. He was on Off the Ball, and yeah, I know. And
how many drinks did you have to listen to that?
But I know. I just it came up and I just saw Leinster and I was flicking through it and just saw Leinster. I says, "Ooh, what's this?" Anyway, there's a certain element of truth, I suppose. He has some sort of a point. There's a point in here somewhere. He basically said that he didn't think, I'm quoting here, "I don't think the Leinster defence is going to win them." What happened? Sorry, I thought you were. He said, "I don't think the Leinster defence is going to win them a European." Okay. Okay, I'll start again. Here we go. Stuart Barnes, "I don't think the Leinster defence is going to win them a European Cup final. Toulouse are going to score 20 plus points against anyone the way they're playing at the moment." Would you agree, disagree? Is there an element of truth in what Stuart Barnes said there, Peter Martin?
It's going to be interesting. It's going to be a heck of a final. Of that, there is absolutely no doubt in my mind, because Toulouse are cruising. All you have to do is go on X and these days, and you have anybody from our former guest on here, Brett, Igo, any of the other and Murray Kinsella, basically showing clips of amazing tries, usually involving Toulouse and Dupont and maybe one or two other players. So they're setting a standard as regards attacking play, it seems. But I suppose, look, I saw an article there the other day where Andy Goodman was being interviewed and basically being charged. He's the man who's sitting down with the analysts, going through clips of all the tries that all the defensive system that Toulouse have, trying to figure out if it's a case he can put together 2 or 3 plays that'll result in a try or two for Leinster. That's he did similar stuff against La Rochelle last year. Unfortunately, we know what happened there. Goodman's work worked, but the rest of the stuff didn't come to pass. But I think this year we'll get a different result. I don't necessarily agree with Stuart Barnes. I think Leinster are properly bedded into the system they want to play. Like the Nienaber system is the blitz defense. Close in. It's a close in blitz. It requires scramble on the outside. I think the player who is most important to that scramble defense, believe it or not, is Jordan Larmour. Because of his footwork and because he's like a busy bee, like, you know, when things break down, he's there scurrying about. And of course, it's a transitional play thing, really. Like when he gets the ball, if the ball goes loose, or, you know, if there's a missed pass and it goes to ground and he's on it, all of a sudden it's attack immediately from Leinster because he's got such great footwork. It's not a question he's there to mop it up and set it up, and basically it's going to be a ruck, and, you know, Leinster go from there, kick, do a box kick, whatever. Leinster are immediately on the front foot. So, long story short, I think Barnes is talking shite, and I don't think Leinster will have a problem against Toulouse. I do think there'll be some cracking tries scored. It'll be a hell of a game, but I think ultimately Leinster will have enough.
Yeah, and just on Jordan Larmour and the scramble defence, Pete. If just my own thinking on this, if Toulouse or any team or attack Leinster on the opposing side to where James Lowe is, Lowe does this fantastic job of sweeping across the back line, coming in, looking for the ball, and he's also a fairly good defender as well. So Lowe is also cover for, you know, if in that rush defence, you've got Lowe coming in, sweeping behind, looking for action, looking for ball and all that, and that's another plus, I think, for that particular Nienaber rush defence. You know, with Lowe doing that on the back line. Anyway, Mike Reedy, would you agree with Stuart Barnes on his assessment that Leinster won't win the Heineken Cup because of their defence, and Toulouse will put 20 points on anyone the way they're playing?
I certainly wouldn't agree with him that they won't win the Heineken Cup. I think that's absolute fucking nonsense, if I'm honest. They have a 50-50 chance, lads. Let's not make any harsh, like, rash judgments here. Toulouse are an exceptionally good side, and so are Leinster. Now, it's going to come down to a few things. If Hugo Keenan is playing, it's going to be a massive boost to Leinster, without any doubt. He's the best fullback in the world. Now, Toulouse have every bit as much to worry about Leinster's attack as Leinster have to worry about Toulouse's. Then Leinster are scoring tries from all sorts of positions. They're good at all back three players are all good under a high ball. Decent. Now, Larmour has improved very, very much so in this season, and so has James Lowe. James Lowe has become very comfortable under high ball. He has got his left boot's an absolute weapon. I genuinely think Toulouse have more to worry about their defence, because Ramos is a really, really poor defender, and he's back playing now, so he's a poor defender, and I honestly can't see that being an issue. It's not going to come down to Leinster's defending if they lose this, because I think they'll put together enough. And Gibson Park is playing probably the best rugby of his life right now, and he's right up there with DuPont now. He's right up there with DuPont. His influence on the game is incredible. I will have to say this: it's still a weakness in the Leinster team is fly half, because that is, I'm not going to change my mind on this. He's not good enough to be playing that for, like, going forward for number 10 for Leinster. But they have what they've got now, and they have to make do with it. So I think Leinster will win the game anyway. I do.
Okay, there's a good piece of advice there from Gregor Galway about Stuart Barnes. He said, I wouldn't listen to him. Goodbye, Gregor. Someone else, sorry, Claire, just one sec. Good shout on Keenan. Would definitely be more confident if he is playing. That's is that Mark Michael? Okay, hi Mark, how are you? Thank you for tuning in. Claire Devney, would you agree with Stuart Barnes on his assessment of the final in 2 weeks or whatever it is, 25th?
No, 25th. No, but it is going to be an extremely, extremely tough game the way Toulouse are playing. It's as Mike said, it's 50-50. It's going to be extremely tough. we can't lay back like we did in the second half against Northampton Saints. If we do that against Toulouse, they will run all over us. They're playing very fast and quick. Our 10 is not putting them down, but our 10 is not up to the standards that there is, and we need to go back. We do need to go back at 15.
So if Hugh goes back at 15, then more than likely Leo will go for maybe a 6-2 bench. Would that be
maybe a 6-2 bench? Yeah, should be for. I'm hoping for a 5-3 bench, but I'd say he'll go 6-2.
You go 6-2 with Frawley, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Much wouldn't be a bad shot.
And who's the other back then? Frawley and
Yes, from
maybe
Luke.
Jimmy O'Brien. Maybe Jimmy
Luke
O'Brien.
McGrath. Jimmy O'Brien, yeah.
I think Frawley. I think Jimmy O'Brien will miss out probably.
Yeah, probably. Okay, Danny Brosnan, your thoughts on what Stuart Barnes said?
I'll be honest, I think it's a pile of bollocks.
Defense. What would you reckon?
Pile of bollocks. Simply put, it's a pile of bollocks. Leinster's defence against La Rochelle in their 2 games showed how good that defence can be. Now, fair enough, as Claire said, they fell asleep against Northampton a bit in the semi-final. But they do need to play the entire 80 against... Yeah, they do need to play the entire 80 against Toulouse. Can Toulouse put 20 plus points on them? Yeah, but with the way Leinster are playing at the moment, their defence will keep it to the bare minimums. Now, if they do get 20, fair fucking play them. But with the way Gibson Park is running the show at the moment, it's going to be a hell of a lot harder for the Toulouse defence to keep Leinster out if they're running it right. The only thing I would say is if Keelan comes back, to be fantastic, but I'd nearly start Frawley at 12 as well. Because I think if you have that double playmaker option for Gibson Park to deal with either one of the Byrne brothers or Frawley at 10, and imply Frawley the second playmaker, it's going to help Leinster an awful lot in their go forward ball, which could make a huge hell of a difference, because he talks about Leinster defence, but he mentioned nothing about Toulouse and how shaky their defence might be as well at this stage. But I agree with Mike, there's a 50-50 chance, and hopefully we can Leinster and end up on the winning 50% of margin of it anyway. So, or that he's talking bollocks.
All right. Okay. A point well made. Thanks, Danny, and thank you all for that. Okay, I'm going to ask the two Munster fans here, Danny and Mike. Danny, I'll come to you first. Tom Ahern, should he go on the South African tour now that a kind of a not really, but not really, but that Henderson isn't going? I know it's a very competitive position that he plays in, but I like Tom Ahern. I think Tom Ahern is a really, really good dynamic player. Should he go on the tour to South Africa?
Yeah, I'd have him on the plane, to be honest with you, if there is a place there. Simple reason is he's a player that can play not only second row but blindside as well. And for a lad his size, this lad's 6'9" or 6'10". We've all seen the athlete he is. This man can move around. He's basically a back in the body of a giraffe. That's the best way to describe him. That's why he's like the Slender Man with but well mobile. And if you're looking at Andy Farrell and the way he likes to play, having a lad that big can be an advantage as well, especially if you see a mismatch with defenders. You can give him a high ball. That's going to suit him better if he's up against a shorter player. But yeah, I definitely have him in the squad. I'm not sure if he'd make starting squad or bench, but having him in there as an option, I definitely have him in there. All right, going South Africa.
All right, okay. You're a Munster fan. Mike Reedy, Tom Ahern.
100% for me anyway. He has to travel. He was going to be in the Irish interim squad for the Six Nations prior to getting injured. So I think he's a certainty to travel, and I think he should travel. He gives us all sorts of different dimensions. It's quite similar to Baird in some ways, but he's an absolute unbelievable athlete, like Danny just said, and his size. He's good in the line out. He gives us all sorts of options. Now we have other players that gives us similar options, but he can cover several different positions across probably any of the back row positions. Maybe not 7, and certainly either of the second row positions. So he's definitely should travel with the squad, yeah. And like South Africa are a big mobile squad as well. So when you're coming up against the likes of Snyman and Etzebeth like that, you know, and Peter Steph Detroit, you need somebody that kind of can match him physically, which like so Joe. I actually genuinely see Joe McCarthy and Ahern as probably our future locks playing for Ireland. I can see that coming to bear. I'd like to see that happen because they're both athletic, good ball carriers. They're like, you know, they good operators. You know, genuinely, he would definitely travel for me anyway, and I think he will travel.
Mike, the one thing I'd say is,
okay, Peter Martin.
Joe McCarthy. I was like, Mike, one thing I'd say is, Joe McCarthy seems to have a tougher streak than Tom Ahern. I think that might help as well. I think, don't get me wrong, Tom Ahern's a tough lad, but McCarthy comes across a bit more rough and tumble.
He bait the head off you.
Yeah, he's got a bit of a streak.
He bait the head off you, in other words, yeah.
Yeah, but I think that balanced the two of those lads out nicely. If they were involved in the team together.
Yeah. Okay. Peter Martin, your thoughts on Tom Ahern?
Yeah, I think he's very much in the running to go. James Ryan is only making his way back to fitness. There's a question mark whether he's going to be available for the final. I'd say the best chance is he's going to be on the bench, which would be fantastic.
Yeah.
Ryan is a Farrell favourite. Like if you're just if you look at the second row options that are there, you're looking at Joe McCarthy, James Ryan, Ty Byrne, obviously, but it's the fourth option, and I think Ahern is going to be there. I would say absolutely he'll make the plane, and he, as has been mentioned, like Baird, he can cover second row as well. So from a tactical point of view, never mind an injury point of view, he brings something else to the table. So look, it's going to be interesting. He's on form. He's playing alongside Snyman, who he's learning plenty of. Working on ball skills, like he's like the fact that he's Rantry used him to have great effect on wide starter plays. Getting into the back line, and he's scoring tries. He's pushed to the forefront of a lot of people's minds. So I think it'll be, to be honest, a barren disaster, barren injury in the next couple of weeks with the URC. I think it'll be. I think I'd almost say he's nailed on for a seat to South Africa.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. Claire.
Yes, I think he should. Yeah, I think he should go. We have to start. Yeah, we have to start getting our young players game time. So him and Joe McCarthy will be a force to be reckoned with. They will. Joe McCarthy is just, I'm just so annoyed at Joe McCarthy at the moment. He is amazing. And isn't it Joe and Tim up for the Young Player of the Year?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Did I see that? Yes,
Yeah.
it's going, well, personally my vote will go for
Yeah,
Joe, but Tim be a
come to
close
that.
second.
Yeah, we'll come to that. We'll come to that.
Sorry. Yeah, no, I definitely think they should put him on the plane to South Africa. Definitely.
Well,
Come in, Mr. Burke. Come in, Mr. Burke.
Here's calling Mr. Burke. Hello.
I think Claire. Yes.
Having a stroke again.
I know. I could see it. I could see
Yo,
it.
I get grief
I
about my
can
Wi-Fi
see
and then
now
he
when I'm
himself up.
Danny, before you fucking joined, before you were late in joining, I explained to people that the issue is on my end, and I will hopefully have it sorted next week. I was due, but she's teaching. Oh, for fuck's sake! There we are. But she's teaching floaty boaty things to people. Right? So I'll have it sorted, right? You keep putting the money into the meter and you sort out your end. I know where the issue is now. True.
Hey, my end's not causing problems now. Okay.
Yeah.
Your back end. Your back end.
My end isn't causing problems.
You don't fucking know about it. Climate change and all that, I'd say. But what I was going to say was, anyway, shut up. What I was going to say was, Tom Ahern and Joe McCarthy will cause some amount of headache from the set piece, the lone open play scrums, from the lineouts for an opposition. The two of them, Jesus Christ, the two of them together must be 15 foot tall if you put them on top of each other. Like they're huge specimens of fucking players, 6'9" and 6'8" or something like that between the two of them. Like, remember Devin Toner for Ireland? Jesus Christ, that's, you know. Okay, Peter Martin, back to you. Briefly on this, it was something I put up in the group and in the Leinster group, and people came back and they were very supportive. So we won't spend too much time on this. Peter Martin, Jordan Larmour, has he done enough to get an Ireland recall? Now, he was involved in the Six Nations, but kind of fell out of favour a bit. Has he done enough so far this year so far with Leinster to get that Andy Farrell phone call?
Yes.
Brilliant. Okay. Mike Brady.
Well, Jordan Larmour is a very capable player, but there's quite a few players vying for the position he plays in now. I mean, Mac Hansen is going to come back. You've got the boy from Munster, fucking what's his name?
Nash.
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 I think Nash is an absolutely fabulous player, and I think he'll definitely be still in there and reckoning anyway going forward. And Jimmy O'Brien is also back. Do you know what? If he keeps playing the way he's playing, he's got a chance. He's putting himself in the frame every week, and he's getting a lot of game time now with Leinster. So he should be. He's definitely in the conversation. Without doubt, he'll be in the conversation. But it's a bit like the back row, you know. There's a lot of players vying for the back row positions, and some players are going to miss out, obviously. So he might be unfortunate, but if he keeps doing what he's doing, he can only be good for his chances, you know.
I think what Larmour has added to his game, and from what I can see, is that he's got a bit of an edge to him now.
Yeah.
There's a physicality about him now. He's built like a brick shit. He's built like a middleweight boxer, anyway. Yeah. But I've seen it where, you know, it gets physical. He gets contrarian. He'll get contrarian the pitch. He'll grab a guy's jersey, and he won't. You know, it starts getting if there's a bit of push and shove, like he's not afraid to get, you know, let the opposition know he's there for it. You know, to get tough if need be. Like, that's what I've noticed with Larmour. I hadn't seen that previously from him. So I think I don't know whether it's an attitude change or I think I would say he's one of the players who's benefited perhaps from the input from Nienaber. The others, in my opinion, being Baird and McCarthy.
Yeah, and to a certain extent, Pete Ross Byrne. To a certain extent, I think.
Okay.
You're keeping
Yeah,
scum there.
I think I think Ross Byrne has. I think Ross. I don't know. Sorry, no. I think Ross Byrne has come on a bit in his game under Nina Barr. Just anyway. Could be wrong on that, but sure, whatever. Claire.
Yes. Yeah,
Claire,
Larmour and
Jordan
Larmour.
Larmour.
I was. Yeah, I always loved Jordan Larmour. He's amazing. The man is steppy in the phone box. It's great to see him back to playing his best. I actually think he's better than he was previously. So I would love to see him on. I'd love to see him on the plane to South Africa. Get some behind him. Yeah, he has that magic, that winger magic. So yeah, I think we should send him down.
And the try, Claire, that he scored against the Ospreys was what didn't he? He scored 3 times against the Ospreys, didn't he?
Yeah. It was. I know you can't call someone vintage at 24 years of age, but it was vintage Jordan Larmour. I mean, calling someone vintage at 24, it's like, oh my god. I mean, I'm getting old here. Yeah.
I know. It's like calling me young at 53, approaching 53.
Yeah.
There you go. Danny Brosnan, Jordan Larmour. What do you think it is? Has he done enough for Leinster? Has he done enough for Leinster to warrant a phone call from Andy Farrell, in your opinion?
Yeah, I think he has, because I think he's kind of beginning to refine that form he had maybe, was it 5-6 years ago? When he was excellent back then. I think he's beginning to refine that form now. Fair enough, he's had to adapt a little bit and everything like that, but he's developed the right ways after maybe falling off the radar a little bit. The only thing I'm worried about is if he does come back in, what changes does Farrell have to make? Because we kind of know Farrell is reliant on the boots of Hansen and Noah on the wings for clearance kicks and stuff like that. But yeah, I'd nearly include him. He's versatile enough. He can do both wings. He can cover full back, probably 13 as well if pushed. But I'd nearly give him a shot at this stage, just to see if he can put pressure on one or two of the lads there, and what his inclusion will do in how the team changes and adapts if they are missing one either Hansen or Noah again on the wings, or maybe even both of them.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Yeah, okay. All right. Good points raised by all. Okay, next, Claire Devaney. I'll ask you this first. I'll come to you first on this. Few tweets. Sorry, I just froze there. I saw that. Yes, a few tweets, Claire, asking why Mac Hansen doesn't have a central contract. Let me know. That's all I'm going to say. Let me know your thoughts on that. What do you think?
Because he's someone who has the central contract over.
Or should he have it, Claire, actually? Should Mac Hansen have a central contract?
At the moment, I'm going to say no. At the moment, I'm going to say no.
There's 13 central contracts.
Yeah, at the moment, I'm going. At the moment, I'm going to say like he hasn't played in a couple of months. He's injured, and yeah, he was great, but you have to make the central contracts work for the team, and I don't think at the moment Mac Hansen's central contract would work for the team. That's my opinion, and it's only my opinion. Please don't shoot me down in the ball of flames. It's only my opinion. And he's frozen again.
I'm not. I love everyone to express an opinion, whether I agree with it or not. It doesn't matter. Am I frozen again?
No, you were a minute ago.
Am I back or am I still frozen? Am I here? Can y'all hear?
No, you're back again.
Right.
No,
I mean,
you're back.
Right. Okay. Everyone's opinion is welcomed, whether I agree with it or not, doesn't make it wrong. Or whether we all agree or disagree, whatever. Just that's what you want is an opinion. That's important.
Yeah.
Mike Reedy, Mac Hansen, central contract or no? Sorry.
For me, I agree with some of what Claire said. In light of the fact that he's been injured and he's kind of fallen out of the view of people towards the business end of the season, so he's going to have to play catch up. But that being said, if he's back to any close to the form he was in prior to getting injured, he's a certain to start on the right wing for Ireland. And in my opinion, anybody who's a certainty to start for Ireland should be having a central contract. But I don't know how they give him out. I don't know what the criteria is. I don't know what decision is, how the decisions are made. I mean, who has a central contract in his position? Nobody. So should that be the criteria that there's a centrally contracted player in every position on the pitch or not? I don't know how to do it. But yeah, he's pushing for it. But I don't. Maybe it doesn't work that way now, but I mean, value to the team, all sorts of things have to go in. Like, you know, he can play in in 2 or 3 positions as well. So I'd say, I mean, he will go back into the team if he is fully fit and raring to go. He'll go back into the team in South Africa. He'll start in the team in South Africa. But we'll have to wait and see. I think he's going to be knocking on the door. I mean, they're going to be...
Okay, Peter Martin, what's your... all right, Mike, okay, Mr. Farage, mercenary hater. Grant. Peter Martin, go for it.
Hansen for a central contract. He's certainly worthy of one because of what he you know, in his performances recently in the team, going all the way back to the World Cup and so on, like scoring tries against South Africa and that. He's certainly worthy, but I can see kind of the logic. It has to be really earned, the central contract. Now he's on the cusp of it. I would say his current deal, you know, is obviously it's provincial. I don't know how long it has to run, but I'd imagine that if he comes back into the Irish setup, fully fit, firing, and you know, a gap appears, he'll be straight in there with a central contract, I would imagine, because I think it's pretty apparent. Like our first choice back 3 under Farrell is in no particular order is Lowe, Hansen, and Keenan with full back. You know, so once this consistency of performance, consistency of selection, you know, it becomes a flashing light for a central contract in my eyes.
Yeah. Fair enough. Okay. Thanks, Pete. Thanks, Mike. Thanks, Claire. Danny.
Yeah, I think it's not far off getting a central contract, but like most of the people are saying here, it's just a matter of nailing down the position and keeping it nailed down. But you've seen with Farrell that, as Peter Martin said there, we kind of know the back 3, if they're all fully fit and available. But yeah, I'd say if one comes up now before the Six Nations next year, he'll get it if he's played enough rugby between now and then. So really just comes down to that then.
Yeah. Now, if you remember, Danny, I asked you and everyone here last week or week before, whatever it was, about should Jack Crowley the central contract, and you said no.
Yeah, I did. As I said, I think he needs a bit more time to properly nail. Like Farrell has given him the opportunity to showcase his talent at international level at 10, but I don't think he's properly. He needs another season or two maybe to properly earn that central contract. He needs to be properly say, I'm the man. No one's getting that jersey unless I'm out injured or for some more reason. But no, I wouldn't give to him just yet. Hansen has more credit in the bank in my book than Crowley has internationally at the moment. And that's why I'd say Hansen deserves the contract more than Crowley.
Okay, fair comment. Yeah, okay, fair comment. Right, now, ladies and gentlemen, I was listening to a clip from the Good, the Bad, and the Rugby, which is a good show. I don't pay for it. Just these things pop up on Twitter. And they had this guy on, I can't remember his name.
It's not called Twitter, it's called X.
Some finance dude.
Same thing.
Or X, or whatever the fuck. Whatever, yeah. Elon Musk's money pit, we call it that. And they had this guy on, and the question was asked by the host. I can't remember his name. I saw the show live, actually, the Gaiety about 2-3 years ago. It's very good. This idea, we're off frozen again. Oh, we're back. This idea of it was floated that your man Haskell, I can't remember the English lads are on it. The presenter, I know the guy who presents it. He used to be on Sky Sports. I think he still is. But the English players, is it James Haskell? And I can't remember the other fella.
Mike Tyndall.
Good, the bad, and the rugby. But it's good. Anyway, Mike Tyndall. That's it. Yes, that's right. You're quite right, Danny. But they had this idea of they floated this idea of do you know the way we have this live golf thing where the Saudi-backed tournament and they throw fucking millions at this golf tournament to rival the PGA to try and get players over, right? And the idea was floated about a Saudi-backed, money-backed. Now, I personally don't agree with it. I think it's a load of fucking shit, and they should come nowhere near our beautiful game.
It's going to happen. It is going to happen.
This was asked, what about a Saudi-backed? Genuine, this if you go on to the Good, the Bad, and you'll be their Facebook page, you'll see this clip. And the question was asked about a Saudi-backed rugby tournament, a global rugby tournament, spread over 3 months, 10 teams of squads of 25. How the fuck that will work? I don't fucking know. 25 players over 3 months. What the fuck are you going to do with that? But Peter Martin, I'm going to ask you, this idea of a Saudi-backed LIV type tournament, throwing money at rugby, if it filters to the unions, if it this is what your man was saying, if it filters back to the unions, down to the clubs, excuse me, down to grassroots rugby, it can only be a good thing. I don't particularly agree with that. I think this would be detrimental to the game if Saudi Arabia and all their money, their oil money, and I think you actually said this a week or two ago, Pete, that it shouldn't happen. Do you still have that thought with this idea?
Yeah, absolutely. I think fundamentally there's more issues at play, and perhaps this is a topic you're going to bring up as regards World Rugby's, what they've brought into the different changes, the experimental rules they've brought. They're making changes, but this is the kind of stuff that needs to be sorted out primarily. Player welfare, developing the women's game a bit more, promoting sevens even a bit more. 25-man team over for a month, and it's going to be restricted for the space of a month or 3 months. That's absolute lunacy. Most of those players are going to get injured anyway. Even if they drive
3 months.
3 months.
3 months. 3 months.
We just stop. It's just daft. As simple as that. They can throw as much money at it as they want, but no, just no.
All right. Pretty emphatic, Pete. Mike Reedy, what are your thoughts on this?
Are we talking about club sides or international sides?
Club sides.
Fucking nonsense.
Club sides. 10 of the best 10 of the hold on, Mike, 10 of the best clubs in the world
Right.
competing for a global competition. I don't think they have a name for it yet, but a Saudi-backed club side, 10 teams, squads of 25, and they play over 3 months to allow for rest. Sorry, I froze there.
Oh.
And over 3 months to allow for rest and all that. What do you
Do
think,
you know,
Mike?
I think if they want to get Saudi money involved in rugby, fucking get them. Ask him to back to the existing tournaments that are already in place. Just ask him to help finance that and finance the clubs in the current state.
I don't agree with that now.
Well, do you know
Close
something?
shop. Close shop. Won't happen.
Well, do you know something? If there's money to be made, if there's money to be had from, I wouldn't go. I'm not in favor of starting a new fucking tournament. Absolutely not, because there's already enough. I mean, the place is saturated with rugby already in from that aspect, and it's going to water down the existing tournaments, which is absolutely a no-no. I mean, do you still have to provide a team to play in the URC and play in the whatever the other equivalent leagues are, the French and English and the South American or the Southern Hemisphere leagues? No,
I suppose you would, yeah.
It's nonsense. Absolute. It's going to fucking go like live as well. That's all flat face and all that shite.
Okay, Claire Devaney.
It's creeping in already. The Saudi Arabian one
Claire
is creeping
Devaney,
in already.
your thoughts on this? Is it a runner or no?
It's okay. My opinion is I wouldn't like to see it happening, but I think it's happening already. Qatar are coming in. They're back in the URC. They're already doing it. I don't think you're going to stop it. That's just personally. I don't think you're going to stop it. It's going to be a shit show, but I don't think you're going to stop it. If they want it, they will buy their way into it. Money talks.
Unfortunately, you're right, Claire. I agree with you. You're right. Okay, Danny Brosnan, your thoughts on this?
Yeah, as Claire was saying, there's Saudi money kind of being pumped into rugby indirectly through various sponsorships and deals and all this sort of crack, which is fine. But this whole idea of a tournament is just another pile of shite. As Mike was saying, we have enough tournaments as it is. Players need a chance to rest, to relax, give the body heal, take time away mentally. There's also the other issue as well is whenever they're going to be putting the tournament on, it's probably going to be in the middle of some other competition from either the Northern Hemisphere or the Southern Hemisphere. So they're going to have to align the rugby calendar to allow for that as well. So chances are, yeah, Claire?
They're talking about that already, a line in the rugby calendar, even before the Saudis are coming in. They're talking about a line in the Northern Hemisphere and Southern Hemisphere. They're not talking about that for the good of their health. There's something going on in the background.
Yeah, but sure, to be honest, they've been probably on for that for the last couple of years, anyway, just trying to align everything, the calendar and everything. So it's a bit like the Premiership in England and the URC. That story crops up every now and again. It's just been to do with rounds. But there's enough competitions going around. If Saudis want to get money into some sort of competition, leave them start their own league, leave them do your own thing or something like that. Or even finance some clubs or something like that and get their investments that way. But this tournament, pile of bollocks.
Right. Okay. So we're kind of a general consensus here that we are not in agreement about this Saudi money coming into the game. But I would tend to agree with Claire that money talks, and I think there is a certain element of inevitability about this, unfortunately, as much as we might despise it, but I think that's the way it's going to go. Right, before just one last thing, and we're fastly approaching the hour mark, which is no surprise for us on our weekly show. Danny Brosnan, I'll ask you first on this. Who do you think the video player of the year nominees are? Aki, Gibson Park, and Dan Sheehan. Who would you go for out of that trio?
Aki had the best year 2023. 24 seems to be Gibson Park year. I'm going to go with Sheehan. I think he's been the most consistent of the lot. He might get all the applause the other two lads get, but he's been consistent. So I'm going to go with Dan Sheehan.
That's only because he's a forward.
Okay, Claire Devney, out of those three, who would you go for?
Who would I go for? Who do I think is going to get it?
Both.
Who do you go for?
I would go for Dan Sheehan.
Answer both. Answer both.
I personally would go for Dan Sheehan because I think Dan is a cheat code, and I've said that for ages on this show. But I think Gibson Park is going to get it. I think Gibson Park is going to get it because he has been phenomenal. He has been phenomenal this year.
Yeah, he's Gibson Park is playing some great rugby, all right.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks Claire, thanks Danny. Mike Reedy, out of those three, as Claire said, who do you think is going to get it, and who would you like?
I think Gibson Park. I think Gibson Park will get it, and I think he deserves it. I think any one of the three players. I wouldn't have any problem with any one of the three players, but I think Gibson Park has just been different gravy this year. By the way, both for Ireland and for Leinster, he is the main reason Leinster will win that European Cup. For me. So that's my Clubman's worked on it anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, that was strange.
I wouldn't say the only reason, Mike, but yeah, no, I know the point you're making. Peter Martin, of those three. Peter Martin, of those three, who do you think, or who do you want?
Who do I want? It's very, very hard. I think, as Danny has already said, Bundy Aki had an amazing 2023. But I think recency bias comes into it. Will come into it. People are fresh in their mind. Yep. Everybody's going on about Gibson Park. He's the best international 9 at the moment, and I'm making a point of saying international because a certain Dupont has excused himself for international duty, so he's the best international 9 in the game at the moment, in my view. And look, everything he does, he's just so important to the way Ireland play, crucial to the way Leinster play, and he's coming up with tries in games as well. He can't put a foot wrong. So for that reason, I would say Gibson Park will get it by a hair.
Yeah. Right. Okay. I tend to agree with you on that, Pete, and Claire. And everyone. I think Gibson Park could get it. I'd like to see Dan Sheehan challenge for that position. Aki. I mean, it's very difficult in these things. You know, all three deserve something, but it's a tricky decision. Okay, Claire. I know you saw no rugby last weekend because you said that in our group. So I'm not going to ask you about these, but
I heard the Leinster game was amazing. They played very well, and they scored lots of tries. And well done.
And did you see any of it, Claire? Before we go into it, did you see any highlights?
No. With personal issues, I didn't see any of it. My son filled me in today when he knew I was coming onto this chat show. He gave me the finer points. He was like, "Matt, say this, and this," and I was like, "Right, kill."
Okay. Come here. I did write a review of it on this obscure website.
I know you. There's Danny. I know you did, but with the shit show of a week I've had, actually, with the shit show of the past 3 months I've been very lucky to be able to read stuff. I will read it tomorrow and comment on it.
Hold on. Oh, geez.
You back again?
Right, fair enough. Okay, Peter Martin. We start in the order that they happened Scarlets v Ulster winning that 31 points to 20. Did you see that game, Pete?
No.
Right. Okay. Very
He's
good.
honest.
Mike Reedy, you saw all the rugby. So Scarlets losing by yeah, well there you go. You want to be people to be honest and straight up to you. Mike Reedy, Scarlets 20, Ulster 31. What did you think of that?
I thought Ulster did very, very well again, and they're proving once again they're heading in the right direction. I mean, the turnaround in Mike Lowry and Edison over the last few weeks has been incredible for me, which is really good to see. And Big Stewie scored a try. They bullied Scarlets a bit, and listen, they closed the game out in one of them. They've done something they weren't doing all season. They're like building a lead and keeping it, not fucking folding in the last 10, 15 minutes. So it's good to see. Well done, Ulster. Great, decent performance, good result. Away from home as well. Good, pretty good. Scarlets are poor, right?
Okay, fair enough. Thanks, Mike. Danny Brosnan, did you see this game?
No, didn't see any of it. Not even the highlights.
Fucking lot of use here.
I know.
Right,
Thanks,
Danny,
Mike.
back to you.
Appreciate it.
All right, sure. Danny, Munster were playing Connacht in the Interpro. Munster's first win of an Interpro. Munster winning that 47-12. I thought Connacht were fucking awful. James Grennan will agree with me for once on this. Connacht were shocking. Gaps all over the park, in behind. They just, I don't know. Danny, did you see this?
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. Some of the defensive displays by Connacht in maybe the opening 20-odd minutes, especially when closer line, were excellent. I give them credit for that, some of the defensive display. But there's times when gaps opened up, and I think, was it Nash had gotten the ball, and he literally just... Yeah, he ran through half the team from inside his own half. And, like, there's nothing. Everyone was just kind of, they're practically playing a game of statues. It's just like you're looking at him and wondering what the hell's going. Do we do what's going on? Zebo set up for Morris try was another example of how brittle that defense can be at times, which is, I think, a huge issue for Scott Vardy since he's on their defensive coach, and something I'd really be going back to players and fellow coaches and said, what's not working? What do you need to work on here? In saying that, the 2 tries they scored showed how good they can be going forward. But on the flip side of that, the same issue was when they got close at times, they showed a few easy handling errors as well. A couple of easy little mistakes that just cost them. And I think it was that little bit of indiscipline or not things working out kind of shows how much they need that. But I think, was it Aki losing the ball just and literally it fall into Nash's hands, and we got a try from that. Those little errors just need to be kind of looked at and addressed. But yeah, the Connacht attack is just not as good as it was for last season. I'm not sure if that's Andy Friend leaving or if it was Mossy Lawler leaving or what it was, but something needs to be addressed because last season they were probably one of the best counter-attacking teams in the URC. Now that seems to be gone completely. Any go-forward ball they had is just, it's hot luck at the best of time. So there is an awful lot of work to be done. We showed how good we can be. I think once we're fully fit and playing well as a unit, But hopefully we can keep this going now for the last 2 rounds and hopefully into the knockout phases as well. That consistency we need.
Jesus Christ. Are you quite finished? For fuck's sake, you dragged that fucking point out, didn't you?
Well, my next point now.
Time.
Um,
We're over time.
Jesus, no, fucking part 2 from Danny Baskin. Right, anyway. Mike Reedy, did I ask you? I'm getting distracted here from people messaging me and messages popping up. Did I ask you, Mike, about this Munster game?
Not yet, no. I thought
Mike, did I ask you?
Good, good professional performance for Munster again. Connacht absolutely dreadful. They played well. It was 14-7 at half time, so they did okay in the first half, and then completely got blown away in the second half. But the tries they conceded were abject, really. The defending. Munster were very good, very clinical. Took their tries well. I was really impressed with Joey Carberry, to be honest with you, and I think it's a shame that he's leaving Irish rugby. By the way, if we could get him fit, I think he still has something to offer Irish rugby. I mean, there's a shortage of 10s at both Ulster and Connacht, really, with Hanrahan out now as well. So, but I thought well-deserved win for Munster, and the business end of the season, they're hitting the straps. So it's going to be a good finish to the season again.
Okay. Thanks, Mike. Pete, did I ask you? Sorry, I got distracted.
No, you didn't.
Did I ask you about this Munster Connacht?
No,
did you see it?
You didn't. You didn't. To be fair, I was talking to a couple of Connacht fans there on the weekend. They went over to watch the game, and apart from the fact that Connacht were missing, there's a number of players, and James Grennan, I'm sure, will agree with this, that are key to Connacht clicking and performing well. There's certain guys in certain positions. JJ Hanrahan is obviously one of them. You've got, the likes of Tom Daly in the centre, Mac Hansen as well. Certain players that, they're missing through injury and suspension, whatever the case may be, that just weren't on the team on the weekend. And that didn't help matters. Like Munster, to be fair, that's probably their strongest 15, 23, that they have. I think nearly everybody's basically available again. So they had all the big guns out. I think, and coming back to the comments I heard from these Connacht fans, was that the feeling is that Friend indeed, but also Wilkins, they're two nice guys. Wilkins is highly regarded as a coach. He went to New Zealand and you heard players speaking very highly of him, but it could well be a case that he's not head coach material, where after 2 or 3 rubbish performances, he's not pulling a guy in and saying, listen, you've been shit and things need to change. He doesn't appear to be that kind of guy. So I think Connacht needs somebody to go in there, give certain players a bollock, and there's probably certain players who are there who just aren't even up to standard, even perhaps as even at training, shall we say, just bringing a higher standard and basically saying, right, lad, that's not good enough. Let's do this drill again. Let's run that move again in training, or whatever the case may be. Guys need a bit more leadership is probably required. Like, you've got the likes of Jack Carty there. Jack Carty is on the way out as a player. He hasn't played a decent game in a couple of seasons now at this stage, in my view. He doesn't have the proper control as a 10 should. Like, realistically, the ideal scenario, I feel, for Connacht would have been that JJ Hanrahan was coming in to compete with Carty. There hasn't been a contest for that 10 jersey this season from what I can see. Hanrahan has been the 10, and Carty has been by a distance, the backup, and that's not what's good. That's not good at all. So, again, Danny kind of covered off on the defence from Connacht. There is an issue there, I think, with Fardy. Some people have been saying Fardy needs to be sacked. He's just fucking not doing it. It is a first season. It's his second, I think, second actual job coaching. The jury's out, but like, you know, they like, we're still waiting for Connacht to really kind of close the gap on the other provinces, and it's just not quite happening yet.
Yeah, I would agree with everything you said there, Pete. Right, last game, and then we fly through the upcoming games because we are now 10 minutes over time. Danny Bronson, Leinster 61, Ospreys 14. A brief thoughts on this one. I know, yeah. Danny.
He's thinking.
Did Danny just go?
I'm thinking. No, basically it's a close enough first half. That was a good contest. But Leinster just kicked up the gears the second half and literally just flew off us. And it did. There's only ever going to be one winner in the match, regardless. Anyway, it's just a question of how much. But yeah, basically, tail two halves, and Leinster were far better in the second than they were in the first.
I do have a comment about this, even though I didn't say it.
Okay, fair enough. Claire, oh, you didn't see it.
Ospreys didn't. No,
Sorry,
I didn't, but I do have a comment. Ospreys didn't score in the second half. They played 40 minutes of rugby, and we have said many times on this show, if you're not scoring in the second half, or if you're not scoring for 40 minutes of rugby, you need to look at your team. You need to look at something. There's something going wrong. That's my comment about it.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Yeah, Mike Reedy, you saw all the games. What did you reckon of Leinster 61, Ospreys 14?
It was easy street for Leinster. They actually didn't have to. They did play well, but they didn't have to. Ospreys weren't very, very good at all. They were for the first half, and then absolutely blown off the park in the second half. But that's why. I mean, Gibson Park, to me, what I said earlier about Gibson Park and having the ability to win this Heineken Cup final for Leinster, he has the ability to cover for Ross Byrne. He's given him an easy ride, if we're honest. He's that good, and that's why I reckon they'll win the Heineken Cup, because of him, and he'll get Player of the Year. There you go. Leinster, very good, very clinical. Yeah. The Armour played well, Lowe played well. They all played well. It wasn't a bad performance. Even according to the player team, wasn't it? Sorry.
Gone again. Gone again.
Am I gone?
No, you're there. You're back.
This is like this is worse than the Eurovision, but without the music.
Am I back?
Yeah, you're back.
You're back.
You're cracking your sack.
Guess who's back? Back again.
Right, there you go.
What's the name? Slim Shady.
There you go. There you go. There you go.
Oh, Slim Shady's actually dead.
I know, yeah. I was going to say something smart. About the last time I got an easy ride, but I won't go there. In case the wife is watching.
Well, that's when your wife give you let's go to the pub with this.
No, teenage years. I'll quantify it. Teenage years. Peter Martin, did you see this game, or did I ask already? I'm just a bit all over the place.
I did see it's the one game I saw in full. Look, what can you say? Like, it was a bit of a fluffy start from Leinster, like, you know, Frawley making that error, resulting in penalty try. But look, Ospreys had nothing. And Ospreys are one of the better, arguably the best Welsh side. Toby Booth is a very good coach. But look, Leinster made a point. They just annihilated Ospreys, and like the running rugby, the support lines, the keeping the ball alive. It was a joy to watch. Look, they can only play what's put in front of them. I think the Ospreys were starting to throw in the towel in the second half. The defensive effort wasn't put in. You know, they keep going beyond the final whistle almost. Frawley looking to get one more try, like in the 80th minute. Shows the mindset. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Ruthless, you know.
Yeah. Okay. Are we all good? I see. I don't know who's frozen or who's not.
No,
Pete,
we're
you're
all
frozen.
okay.
No, you're not. There.
All here.
Right. Okay. Right. We 3 minutes. Literally 3 minutes. Let's just fly through. Okay. Let's just fly through these. Right. We have the penultimate round, the race for 8 in the URC games coming up. Danny Brosnan. Who have we got? We got Edinburgh are entertaining Munster. How do you see that going?
Munster, just about, I'd say, 5 points or less.
Right. That's Danny finished. Who's next?
You, Mike. You go next.
Oh, with Claire. Claire's next
Claire.
line.
Munster.
No, go on, Claire.
I did. I
Hey,
answered
Mike.
3 times. Munster.
All right, Mike.
I say I'm going to
Sorry,
say bonus point win for
obviously
Munster.
frozen on
How
your
about
screen. I'm not on mine. Go on, Mike.
Bonus point win for Munster. There you go. Confidence.
All right, okay, fair enough. All right, Peter Martin.
Yeah, I think Munster will do it as well. They're finishing the season on a high. They've all their players back. They're really purring along.
All right, okay, back to you, Pete. Connacht are entertaining the Stormers. Pete.
Fuck.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Thoughts and prayers.
Yeah, house private. House private. All donations to the local, whatever.
Family flowers.
Yeah. Mass card for James Grennan.
So, all right.
No fucking bad jokes this week. Thank Christ. It's only the good thing that'll come out of it.
Right.
Oh, he still does dad jokes. He will still do dad jokes.
Very
I need a fucking dad joke.
Right, go on, Mike Reedy. Connacht entertaining the Stormers. How do you see that going?
Jesus, it's hard to make a case for Connacht after the performance last week. But Connacht are like that, by the way. They could come out and fucking do something good this week. I hope they do. I genuinely hope they, because it's turning into a horrible season for them. Stormers, it can be very, very good, but they can also be not best travellers. So, but they need the points to guarantee their qualification. I think, don't they? The Stormers do as well. So
absolutely,
yeah.
So I think they'll come fully loaded, and it's hard.
Yeah.
I can't make a case for Connacht, so even at home.
Okay, Claire.
I'm going to go Connacht. Connacht are going to come out and surprise us in the sports ground.
I hope you're right,
Yeah,
Claire. I hope you're right.
I'm going on James Grennan's side. I'm sticking up for Connacht. James, I'm backing you up. No more dad jokes for a week, please.
Oh, you're going to be fucking bombarded with them this week now.
I'm going to hide them.
Say
that's your bonus.
No dad jokes.
No, you know what? There's 6 points between Connacht in 9th and the Stormers in 5th.
Yeah.
And it's going to be hard to get in there. But you know what? I'd say we could see an absolute cracker of a match. But after last week, I'm going to give it to the Stormers. I think they'll want it more than Connacht. And considering how Connacht are so hit and miss, even in one game, even in every game, they'll sabotage themselves. So Stormers win. All
right. Okay, and the last game, and then we wrap it up because this Wi-Fi shit is just wrecking my head. But we'll change it next week. Last game, Danny Brosnan, Ulster are playing Leinster.
Leinster are going to want to prove that will want to go into the Champions Cup final. Though basically firing in all cylinders. Unfortunately, Ulster not there at the moment, so it's going to be Leinster win. Probably bonus points. Just depends on how much the points gap at the end is.
All right. Okay, Claire.
Leinster. Definitely Leinster.
Okay, Mike.
Well, I'd say Leinster without a shadow of a doubt. They have players coming back like that are going to be wanting to try and fight for their place in the team for the Champions Cup final. I mean, Keenan will walk back into it anyway, but James Ryan and Ringrose as well is on the way back. So bonus point win for Leinster for me.
All right. Okay. And finally for tonight's show, Peter Martin, Ulster entertaining Leinster.
Yeah, Leinster to win, but I don't think it'll be bonus point. I think Ulster will put in a performance, confirm, be boosted by the fact that Murphy's been given the job in 2 years, and it'll be all positive. But I think it'll be a cracking game. I think.
Mike's gone.
Okay.
Oh no, he's back.
Mike, I'm trying to add you back to the stage. Yeah, Mike. Where is he?
Mike's gone. I don't know where he is.
Anyway, Mike, we're wrapping up. Anyway, folks, listen. I don't know where he is. Where is he? Oh, there he is. Hold on.
He's gone. That's what I saw. As far as I know.
I'm adding him to the stage. Mike, I'm adding you. I can't see you.
There. No, he keeps going. He keeps adding
Mike,
him and then he disappears.
we're wrapping up. Anyway.
Yeah.
Right, there he is now. He's gone.
Right, bye.
Here.
Bye. Bye.
Anyway, folks, look, I'll tell you what, we'll wrap
Yeah. Goodbye. Good night. God bless.
Thank you all.
See
Thank
you.
you all. Thanks to Mike. Thanks to Danny. Thanks to Claire. Yeah, good luck. Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Yeah. Take care.